watching Twin Tiers Evening News with Jeff Androlonis and Alexa Olson. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, WVTT proudly presents Twin Tiers Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson. Jeff Androlonis is off for the week. The big story on Twin Tiers Evening News tonight. New York State Senator Catherine Young came to the Olean Rotary Club today to speak at their luncheon. She focused on ways New York can bring its economy up. With more on the story, let's go live to the WVTT Digital Newsroom, where WVTT's Valerie Tysaner is standing by. She was there with all the details. Valerie?
Hi, Alexa. You know, it was actually less of a speech and more of a conversation with the people in the audience. And like you said, she was focusing on ways that New York, especially our area, can increase its economy.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Senator Catherine Young chose to make her speech at the Olean Rotary Club today less of a speech and more of an opportunity to answer questions local residents may have about what's going on economically in New York State. One man asked about hydraulic fracking and whether it would be legalized in New York.
In my district, we are the home of the oil and gas industry in New York State.
Senator Young says the gas industry has long been a staple part of the New York economy.
The oil and gas industry pumps about, last I checked, about $500 million into our economy, so it's a big part of our local economy here.
The issue continues to be controversial, and the decision of whether or not fracking will be allowed has been pushed back another year.
I believe that there could be some really significant economic benefits. They do it safely in other states. You have to make sure that you do it safely, that there's enough oversight, but I think that it could be done, and so we'll see what the governor does on it. Yes.
Is there any movement on relieving some of the mandates from our...
But the senator touched on many topics, not just fracking. She spoke about Interstate 86 and the rough driving conditions. She says that in order to increase the local economy, we need an efficient means to get to and from larger cities.
Some of our local companies across my district, not just here, but in Chautauqua County, for example, have been sold from local ownership to a national or international company.
And along those same lines, something that Senator Young said that I thought was especially interesting was she said that right now New York's biggest export is young people. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues to occur over the next few years. In the WVTT Digital Newsroom, I'm Valerie Tysaner. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Valerie. For more on this story, you can go to our website. It's WVTTnews.com, and you can search Rotary Club. Last week, the Southern Tier Regional Drug Task Force and the New York State Police Community Narcotics Enforcement Team arrested a Tennessee man on a warrant issued by New Hudson Town Court. 21-year-old Jared Poland was also arraigned on multiple other warrants, including one in Cuba, New York. Poland faces multiple charges, including criminal possession of methamphetamine and fifth-degree criminal possession of a controlled substance. He's being held without bail in Allegheny County Jail. Police in Olean arrested a fugitive last week. Police released the details in the arrest of 29-year-old Brian Solinsky, who was wanted in connection with an armed robbery in Erie, Pennsylvania. Solinsky is in Cattaraugus County Jail tonight. Two South Dayton men were arrested on Saturday night for allegedly driving snowmobiles while intoxicated. Now, according to the Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office, 28-year-old Eric Dustin and 27-year-old Brian Dustin were found in the middle of Drudge Road in the town of Dayton around 11:45 p.m. after one of their sleds broke down. Both men were arrested for operating a snowmobile with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher. A panel of 3 judges is set to look at a convicted murderer's appeal. Thomas Hagee is serving his time in prison after the brutal slaying of Megan Konopka and her unborn child at the former Riddell house in Bradford. He claims his guilty plea was coerced and that his attorneys failed to challenge a Pennsylvania statute for a murder charge for an unborn child. Prosecutors say Hagee not only entered a guilty plea but explained in detail how he murdered Konopka. Another break-in at Buchanan Brothers Pharmacy in Eldred. State police are looking for an unknown burglar who busted the glass in the pharmacy's front window early Monday morning and stole prescription medications. Another burglary another burglar has made off with pills several weeks ago. Police are hoping someone with information comes forward. Well, some women in St. Louis are ready to point, aim, and fire if faced with an attacker. But their weapon of choice isn't a gun. Instead, they're turning to a common household product to protect themselves. Ann Alfred reports.
It's barely $7, but it makes Joy Gridnick Christensen feel a whole lot safer.
And we keep it right here so that if you came to the counter where I would be with the cash register, I would just put this on you and zap you right in the face.
As owner of the Fountain on Locust,
I'll dip up some ice cream.
She's armed all her employees with wasp spray in case of an attacker. And she's not the only St. Louisan using this self-defense tactic. South County resident Carol Dickinson hasn't left home without it since buying a can about a month ago.
I keep a can of wasp spray in my car in the console where the cup holder is.
Her friend sent her an email suggesting she try it.
I can't shoot a gun, but I can shoot wasp spray.
Having a gun makes you have all kinds of other issues and responsibilities.
And these women say it's how the spray shoots that appeals to them.
And it shoots farther than pepper spray, so that was the advantage.
Wasp spray goes 20 feet, and you can really direct it at somebody, and that really brings them down. Mace, I think you have to be a little closer, and the person could actually get the mace and put it on you.
Good advice there in that story tonight. By spring, North Union Street in Olean will be bathed in a new light. The Public Works Department is taking bids for 20 new light poles at an estimated cost of $25,000. Now, the money will be taken from the city's 2012-2013 budget. The 20 light poles being replaced between the railroad tracks on North Union and Main Street were put up nearly 70 years ago and have the most damage from the area's weather. Bradford Regional Airport will receive a $1.1 million for construction and expansion of a multi-tenant facility. Now, Bradford is among 10 regional airports across Pennsylvania to receive part of a $10 million in grants that are distributed through the Capital Budget and Transportation Assistance Program. And people are paying top dollar for Buffalo Sabres tickets due to this year's shortened season, but someone is using a popular website to scam buyers. 4 people have fallen victim to a man they describe as clean-cut and not suspicious who's been selling tickets on Craigslist. In all the cases, the victims met the man, gave him $150 for 4 tickets, and were told they could pick up their tickets at the will call window at First Niagara Center. Now, the man, who uses the name John Bradley, is being described as in his late 20s, tall and thin, with dark hair and well-groomed beard. Police and the Sabres and the Better Business Bureau warns fans they should never buy tickets this way from strangers. And hackers took over the official Twitter for the fast food chain Burger King for about 90 minutes yesterday. The online tricksters changed the account name and images to imitate McDonald's, claiming the company was sold to its competitor and tweeting a series of inappropriate messages. Twitter temporarily suspended the account, which is now back to normal with about 50,000 new followers. That's the latest that's been going on in the social media world. We'll be right back with more coming up next.